All right, I'm getting ready to tackle the rocker panel under the driver's door on my truck. I've got some pretty bad rust. It actually goes right through underneath this weather strip channel. It goes about halfway down, about to there. What I'm planning to do, it looks pretty solid, closer to the door sill, this part here, but I'll know when I cut this out. I'm going to cut it right down here and probably here to start with, and remove that channel, remove the spot welds and take that off and see how this metal is. I might have to replace the whole thing, I don't know. Anyhow, also have some rust through near the front cab mount, so I'm gonna cut up near that channel and then up and over and replace this metal underneath. I might have to do some reinforcing on that cab mount as well. We'll see what we got when we cut it loose. Be back in a sec. All right, this is under the cab. You can see what we're dealing with here. This is where the front cab mount is. It extends back here. The sheet metal is rotted under here. I'm planning to cut, like I said, underneath that channel about here, and then over, and see how I'm going to tie in there. I'm not sure. We're going to peel all this back and see what we have to do. It's rotted under that brace as well. On the other side, I already did my modifications. I had to replace the whole rocker on that side. It was rotted up top and on the bottom as well. But this side, I'm trying to keep as much of the original 70-year-old steel as I can. So I'll do just what we have to. Be back in a second. All right, I've got all the rusty metal cut out on this rocker panel. I went back to where it was solid. I didn't have to take the whole rocker panel out because, I cut back where I saw visible rust and went a little further, but everything is nice and solid there. I did have to cut some material out underneath the front cab mount. There's a flange with a little joggle there. I cut that out, and underneath the cab mount, there's a little triangle shape there. I had originally purchased replacement rocker panels, which were really simple bent channels. I used most of the one on the passenger side. It went full length. I needed that. On this side, I cut away most of it. I could have made this myself completely because I did have to do quite a bit of modification to it. I welded on an extra extension for that piece underneath the front mount. Had to do a little joggle there and trimmed it all up. A lot of cutting and fitting, but everything fits really well. It's going to go butt up there, and it goes in underneath that cab mount. I drilled it for where the spot welds were. I'll spot that in, but I'll go ahead and weld this in. Put it back. Here it is, temporarily clamped in. You see I've got those holes, 3/16 holes I put in here for my rosette welds, be where the spot welds were originally. Everything fits up pretty nice. I'm gonna, that's the back side. Of course, I have to concentrate on getting this, the face aligned perfectly, and I'm gonna tack it up all around and get going on this. All right, I've got everything welded in now. It's good and tight, and everything seems to be pretty straight. It's going to need a skim coat of Bondo, I'm sure, after I do the body work and epoxy primer on that. I'm not sure about what I'm going to do with the weather strip channel yet. The old one is what caused the rust, so I don't want to repeat the same situation. I've got the weather strip channel already. They're both, full length pieces. I could drill and drill these and then either screw them on or pop rivet them on, or I could spot weld them like the original ones, but I'm thinking about drilling and screwing them on and then using some seam sealer between them, keep the moisture out. I hope that would take care of it. Off camera, I wire brushed the entire bottom of the cab. That was a messy job. And then I used rust encapsulator to cover everything up. It's not really pretty if you looked at it, but it's not meant to be looked at. It's going to be a daily driver, and it looks pretty good. Better than it was when it was new, probably. The next step will be the firewall. I've got quite a mess, a lot of extra holes that I don't know yet. I have to figure that out, which ones I keep, which ones I plug, and how I'm going to do it. I mentioned before this area here that you're looking at, the previous builder had notched it out and put a big box in there for a GM engine with the rear mounted distributor. So I cut all that out and put a flat panel in there. A bit of oil canning here, but I'm not going to worry about that until I do everything else, because it's probably going to warp up some more. I'm not sure how I'm going to plug all these holes. If you look at some of the ones that were factory plugged, they're like little knockout plugs that are tack welded on. I'm thinking about doing that on some of them. Like this one I'm going to do flush, but over top of the hood hinge mounts, I'm probably going to make a plate just like this to cover everything and tack it in. And same with the holes for the brake and clutch pedal down here. I might do the same thing. That way, someday, who knows, 50 years from now, somebody may have this truck and want to bring it back to stock condition or not have a tilt front end or whatever. Who knows? They'll thank me someday. So that's what I'm going to do there. Then I have, then I'll be flipping the cab over and doing the inside. I've got to put shoulder harness mounts in the cab, and I've got some patching and cleaning and stripping and painting, all kinds of work. So if you'd like, please subscribe and follow along. There's plenty more to do on this build. There'll be interesting stuff coming on eventually. It's right now it's just dirty work. So thanks for watching. Please comment if you would. See you next week.